Hi, what's up guys? Welcome back. This is Maximize. I wanted to go over a few of my top plants for people that tend to underwater. I know there's a lot of overwaterers out there and I'll get to you in like a sec. So this is people that are pretty new to houseplants and they tend to just let their plants slowly dry out over time and just shrivel up and die. So that tends to happen a lot for me, especially. It's like I'm an underwaterer because I'm so paranoid about overwatering. You know, the opposite end of the spectrum, but just as bad. You know, death is still happening. So I wanted to go over some plants that are really good for people that tend to underwater or tend to forget about their plants, or if you travel a lot and you're not there to always give a little trickle. So I really wanted to put a little short list together of the best plants if you are that person. Also, that is my TV and I have those Hoyas there, but I just wanted to display them because I love those pots. But we don't actually literally put plants in front of the TV. That's for the shot, you know. Also, Selena wanted to come say hi. Look at her. She's getting huge, guys. Like when I first got her, like look how big she is. She's a little big chunky. The other day, she literally, so I left the scone on my nightstand, which is kind of dumb, but it was like kind of wrapped and I just forgot about it and I left the room. I went to go move my car. I come back, there's no movement, no sounds, you know, and when it's too quiet, I'm like, okay, where's Selena? What is she doing? And we built her like this cute little nook, you know, under our bed because she really likes the cozy feel of it. And I look under the bed and she has a whole scone under the bed and she's just eating it. And I'm like, how did you drag that under the bed? And now you're eating it. I don't know what that's gonna do to her stomach, but she really didn't eat that much of it. Anyway, she's fine. She didn't throw up, no issues whatsoever. So she ended up being fine. I don't even know if she ate too much of it. I think she just liked ripping it apart. I don't know. My first plant that I absolutely love, it's actually kind of a group of plants, a series, is the Dracaenas. So I have a Dracaena Hawaiian Sunshine. I wish you could see Selena right now. She's chewing on one of her toys. Sorry, I'm sure the quality was really bad, but that's like what I'm seeing right now. Now, my first plant is the Dracaena. So I have a Hawaiian Sunshine and a Sol, S-O-L, and they are absolutely super bulletproof. Like you can forget about them for months. Like there was a time in the winter months where I didn't water my Dracaena at all, and it literally doesn't look any different. It doesn't throw a fit. You can completely forget about it for a long time. Way tougher than my umbrella tree, than my ficus. I mean, just absolutely bulletproof. So I highly, highly recommend a Dracaena, pretty much of any kind, if you tend to underwater. I actually have 3 Dracaenas, I forgot. So I have the Hawaiian Sunshine, the Sol, and the Compacta. So all 3 of them will not die, no matter what. They do not die. I think even if you overwater, they still respond pretty well. So they're very hard to kill. The only issue I've had with Dracaenas is if you have hard water or a lot of minerals in your tap, they do tend to grow brown spots in their leaves, and that's just from an oversaturation of minerals, a buildup of minerals in their leaves. So if you have really hard tap water, I would suggest leaving the water to sit out so those minerals can kind of dissipate over 24 hours and then watering. The second plant I highly suggest is the aloe plant. So this aloe, you tend to associate them with like succulents and agaves and, you know, other desert dwellers. And aloes are actually a little more sensitive. They're very good for houseplants because they don't require as much intense sunlight. They really like the bright indirect light. So they're great houseplants, super easy. They don't need water at all, pretty much. So if you don't have them in any direct light, just don't water them much, you know, because they have really squishy leaves. They retain a ton of water in their leaves. I haven't watered mine in probably 2 months now, and it's been pretty warm, but I just keep an eye on it. If the leaves start to look a little crinkled, if they look a little crinkled and bumpy, then that means it's starting to use all of its moisture in the leaves. And that's when you want to give it a little something. But for the most part, you can back off of the water for a long time. You can go travel for 2 to 3 weeks, whatever, come back and it'll be fine. But again, if you have it in higher light, you may have to water a little more frequently, but even then, hardly at all. Another option is the money tree. So this one tends to have the 5 braided trunks together, and it has really beautiful leaves of 5 that look like little hands, and they call it money tree. I don't know why. It's just supposed to bring good luck or something. I don't know the whole backstory there, but you know, they call it that. This plant really doesn't require much water at all either. It has a very thick trunk that retains a ton of water, so you just have to water it probably every 3 weeks or so, tops. Even in the heat of the summer, you really want to back off. And if you tend to forget about your plants, this is a great option. And it adds that jungly vibe. So it's a great option if you're looking for something that you can kind of set in a corner near a window and just kind of forget about it a little bit and not have to worry and fret over it. Pretty much all of these plants I'm talking about needs bright light, except the Dracaena. The Dracaena can handle the low light if that's what you're banking on right now. I have mine and I water it probably once a month or so. And it's right by my south facing window. So I really am just neglectful a little bit about the watering. But again, let your tap water sit out for 24 hours before you give it to it, because they tend to be a little more sensitive, similar to the Dracaena, to the minerals and, you know, high chemically tap water. I don't know what my hands are representing, the chemicals, I guess. I don't know. Lastly, the best plant for underwaters, and I'm trying to give you every kind of look and appearance of plant if you tend to be an underwater. So the last plant is the string of hearts. Now, I recently got this plant and posted a video about it. It really, I get it. I get why people are obsessed with it. I get why it's everywhere on Instagram and everything. It's just a cool plant, and it's a very easy plant to just kind of hang it up and not have to worry about watering it every day. Like a lot of my hanging plants, I have to water constantly because they just dry out a lot more because it tends to be a little warmer by the ceiling. And you know, there's air vents up there. Everyone dries out a ton. But the string of hearts, again, it's a succulent, so you don't have to water it as much because it's retaining a lot of water that you've given it in the past. So the string of hearts is awesome. It just needs bright indirect light. You don't need to put it right up in a window. Actually don't, especially if you're not going to be watering it that much and you forget. So the string of hearts is a great hanging option if you forget about watering. You only need to water it probably once every 2 weeks max. The main killer of all these plants is people overwatering. But if you're an underwaterer, this is it. This is your list. And you can have a beautiful string of hearts plant hanging up, and then a beautiful Dracaena tree, and then a beautiful money tree over here, and a beautiful aloe somewhere else, you know? You have every kind of genre of plant possible. So I highly recommend these plants. They are also very good about cleaning the air and all the blah, blah, blah. And they add that nature feel and put you at ease just by looking at them. I mean, plants just provide this calming presence across the board. It brings the outside in. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope this was helpful. I hope you give plants a try, even if you tend to neglect them like I do sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please like, please comment. Let me know what you want to see, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.